So, of course, you know, we started this 5 million accumulation for our beautiful Asia Pilar, the Pillar of Asia. And now she's in St. Jude's. And from what I understand, she's in, her chemo is now heavy duty. Heavy duty. And so we have to keep praying for her, not only so that we can attain the goal of preserving her life, you know, if we have the good fortune to do so, but also to help with her discomfort. I know that at St. Jude's they do a lot to alleviate pain. I know they do a lot to alleviate suffering, but still she's just a little girl, just a little thing, and she's going through more than most of us have probably ever gone through. And so our prayers are with her, and then our crazy yogi, Yeshe Numpa, is going to Cancer Centers of America. He's leaving tomorrow, and that's a very good thing. And so, of course, our prayers are for him as well, and we're hoping we get some good result. And then there's, of course, the most important considerations for me is the health and well-being of my teachers, because I know how much blessing they can bring to the world. And so far as I know, His Holiness is doing uncommonly well. Not only the surgery's gone well, but he's just walking around all the time. And that's having both knees replaced at once. And I am very much looking forward to the sight of seeing his straight legs, because he's been in the, in lotus position practicing for so long, his knees just bent. And it's going to be amazing to see him on 2 feet. I don't know how to act. Gosh. And then, of course, we are having Gyaltsen Rinpoche in our prayers. He's too far away for my tastes. I'm grumpy about him being in China, and I won't stop being grumpy till he gets back. And so that's my notice. And we pray that his blood pressure stays well, and that he stays well, and that he doesn't pick up any of the diseases that seem to be popping up in the area of Beijing, of all places. So this is what has brought us together, these extraordinary circumstances, and we've accumulated quite a large number of 7-line prayers so far. But the interesting thing that's happened, if any of you have noticed, is that our community is starting to heal. That we have begun to trust each other again, and since we've had a nice long talk about gossiping and judgment and bad qualities and things like that, I think we're stronger. I think we're better as a community. I see something. I see result, and I feel better. I feel like, all right, let's go. We can do this. And so I really feel that I know that Christmas season is coming up, and we all have family and all of that cheer to distribute. And so and so while that happens, still, please don't lose touch. I mean, stay in this mind, stay in this mandala of activity. Since we are now reinforcing ourselves by coming back on the weekends and accumulating a lot, something in our mind has changed, in that we feel connected to this throughout the week. We seem to be moving closer in a way that we don't seem to be wandering off on our own separate tangents as much, which, although I have no problem with democracy and liberty and individuality, we are talking about Buddhism here, and we're trying very hard to practice and to accumulate virtue. This is the time to accumulate virtue. We have this opportunity, sadly motivated by crisis, and yet at the same time, we have given birth to this opportunity. I mean, we are doing this together and just beginning to see some result. So I hope that we can keep on. It matters very much, the qualities of the Sangha. The Sangha is like the body of the Lama. You know, you've heard this before. And so when the Sangha is ill, generally there are some physical examples of that in which not only the Sangha becomes physically ill, but also the Lama doesn't feel well and conditions deteriorate, and that's the kind of thing that happens. And also by this time of the year, most people are either drunk or suffering in some way. There's so much commercialism in this time of year. There's so much pressure to buy and pressure to give and pressure to do the right thing. And sometimes people during this time really don't have anyone to share anything with. And so, of course, they feel lonely. And so while this is a season of good cheer, I want to remind us that it isn't buying that makes us happy, or jingle bells, or, you know, whatever, colors and things like that. What has actually made us feel differently this season, like some of us actually given up on the whole gift thing because we've been working so hard. But we're feeling different this season, I notice. There is a small strength coming up, as though there is a little maturity with a touch of resignation. We're beginning to understand that, you know, even if we wait at the bottom of the Christmas tree every year, it's just the same thing every year. And so, you know, this time of year is what it is. We're beginning to understand that happiness is not seasonal. It's not about cramming a time of giving into a certain bit of year, time of year. And believe me, I'm the last one that ought to be talking about Christmas or this season, since we are Buddhists. But we do know, we have come to understand, I hope, that there's a different kind of giving. And there's a different kind of acceptance. And I know I've said to my family this year, it's going to be a different year. It's going to be about us loving each other, us giving each other gifts of presence, and not only just presents, but our gift of presence to one another, to be there with one another. And this year, it's about taking care of others for me. I mean, that's really what it's about. Because a lot of us are very needy right now. And so I'm very happy about that. I feel that we're beginning to understand at last that the gathering of merit is important. I wish that we had come together under different circumstances where it wasn't something catastrophic that made us say, stop, enough is enough. This is the suffering of a little child. This is not bearable. So we come together, you know, to try to pacify this catastrophic obstacle. I wish that we had somehow come to our senses and said, you know, samsara just really isn't working out. I mean, some of us have noticed this by now. Grandma, have you noticed this yet? At long last, for crying out loud. Oh, Lord have mercy. I got to tease somebody. But we're beginning to understand that our practice matters, and that we do have a golden key. Soon we will understand that basically it is us that can use that key anytime we want to. In fact, recently I received a letter from a student that fell away, and this student is begging me on their terms for me to be their teacher, which I always was. In this particular case, I found someone that I knew had a small opportunity and just stuck my little manicured finger into some sorrow and yanked it out. And there she was. So now she wants to know if I'll be her teacher. Well, if any of you have silly questions like that to ask me, let me tell you. Look into my eyes, read my lips. I am your root guru. This is not me telling you, but in one way it's His Holiness telling you. This is what He has said. I've never turned myself away from you. I have always tried to answer your prayers whenever possible. And there are times when I have not responded to certain kinds of carrying on, although I may know about it, because I know that to respond to it would be pointless. I would simply burn up someone's merit, and there's nothing else to be done. But how can we have been together all this time? And you're asking me now, desperately, will I be your teacher? You know, it's like going into a house, pulling all the shades down, turning off all the lights, putting on sunglasses, going under the bed and saying, "Can I have a tan now?" Do you see what I'm saying? I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. If I have the good fortune to remain as your teacher for some time in this world, if I have the good fortune to fulfill my commitments as a throne holder of the Paiute lineage, I will not abandon them. It's not in me. So please, please try to understand that it's you. That you have within you the same thing as I do, the seed of enlightenment. And you look at me and you say, well, you know, I'd like to realize some enlightenment. Boy, I'd like to get some of that going. And so, of course, we are taught by the Buddha, we are taught by all of our teachers, then we must practice like this. And so, when our obstacles and our foibles and our habitual tendencies overcome us, we turn our face away and we get like lost and confused and hello, where am I? Don't know where I am. And we think the teacher has abandoned us. It's a delusion because everything seems so dualistic. It seems that you're there and I'm here. But we are inseparable. We are the same nature, the same taste. There is only one face of the Buddha, although you can see many displays. It is within each and every one of us that capacity to attain liberation. And it is within our capacity, each one of us, if we simply work the program, to even achieve some realization in one lifetime, so that in the next lifetime you can come back in some form to benefit as many beings as possible. And I pray your net will be everywhere. But it is not correct in Buddhism to go down the road we habitually go down with all our stupid, endless, habitual tendencies, to experience our cyclic moods, our ups and our downs, and our thises and our thats, and our repetitive activity. You know, we're all like alcoholics. We are all. I think that we should call ourselves, just stand up and say, hello, my name is Jetsunma, and I'm a samsaraholic, or something like that. Because each of us is so driven by habitual tendency and desire that we really don't know the way and just get confused. And we have this idea that it's up to the teacher to come and fish us out once again. But why waste your merit? It's a lot simpler than that. Turn around and pray. The sun is not gone. Turn around and look at it. You're only in a shadow, you see. And so while I sit here on this throne, because it is customary for me to do so, and apparently I've done so for some time, you are as powerful as I am, if you want to put it that way. Why do we walk around with this helpless little, I can't make it? You have the method. And now we've got some energy going again. We have some mandala energy. Right? It feels like a family again, doesn't it? There's some real love here, some respect. That feels a hell of a lot better. So we, for the sake of these, finally we've gotten that there are sentient beings that are counting on us. Hooray! Hey, took a blonde. You know? Of course it did. Big blue eyes. But it's up to us. We are the captain of our ship. Our own personal ship. There's nothing to whine about. There's nothing to react to. Just hold your practice. Hold yourself up with the strength of Dharma that you have. All these years have been given that strength. It's up to you to hold yourself up. We're learning a little bit of discrimination now, and I think that's a good thing. And I'm really, really pleased with our progress. I'm really happy. I think that we're making some maybe small dent in the suffering of others, and I'm thinking that we are healing ourselves at the same time, and that is the way of Dharma. That is how it happens. Nanda.